for anybody out there who's, genuinely wanting to start an online business or a business in general, I just recommend that you just don't follow trends. Like, for instance, if you see somebody doing a clothing brand or if you see somebody who's drop shipping, just don't do it because it's working for them. Like, you gotta find something that's actually it means something to you. Like, it has to be something you could become passionate about, because if you're not passionate about it, when times gets hard, you're not making any sales, or the business is in the negative, like, you're not going to be able to push through. Like, if you don't have that true passion or that true like burning desire inside of you, then you're just not going to make it. And that, like going back to earlier when I was telling you there was no plan B, like this was it for me. It's because I had that burning desire in me to want to make it work even when it wasn't working. So I get a lot of DMs and like questions, man. Like, people just ask me like, "Yo, I want to start a business, this and that." I'm like, "Okay, what do you want to do?" And they're like, "Well, I haven't figured it out yet." Like, that's the first step. You gotta sit and think and figure out what you want to do and what you can become passionate about. That way, it could actually become successful. Because there's another statistic. A lot of people will say like, majority of businesses fail within the first year. That's only because majority of the people quit. Like, if you never quit, there's no such thing as failure. Like, even if it takes 5 years, if it takes 10 years. For me, thankfully, it happened to become like in 1 year or 2 years. It was like 2 years in the making, honestly, to get to where I'm at now. But it's just because like I had that desire and I knew I wasn't gonna quit.
Couple Supras, bro, out front. I see you all. So were you also you can't see Rob behind the scenes. Were you with Malik that night that we were like on the freeway getting the rollers and I was doing like a bunch of like bangs, pops, the whole nine? You don't remember?
You remember that?
You remember that?
We have shared many great experiences.
All right, so when Rob, okay, hey, Rainus, let's play the clip of the bangs and pops, and maybe Rob, when he watches this episode, he'll remember.
Yeah.
We'll see. Okay.
We always drive together.
We do?
Yeah.
Okay, I like the match on the cars. It's dope.
It's great when it's together, yeah.
Yeah.
It's way better.
That's cool. Yeah, we would have had Rob behind the scenes. Maybe we could have like put the camera on him and had the because usually we sometimes have our guy behind the scenes, but today it's like no. So shout out to our guy though. He's not here anymore. He has other stuff going on. But dude, welcome to the show, bro. Super excited to have you. We got the one and only Malik. I like God's Army. That's dope, bro. And now that you all seen the clip, that's how we met.
Yeah. Honestly.
And literally he just like shoot me a message on IG and was just like, "Hey, bro, I got some dope shots. Your car." I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "Let's go." I swear every single time, like, I don't know if you feel this way, but like you go to a car show, you go out and then you like just connect with new people every time, you know?
That's literally how I met all my close friends right now.
Right?
Through the car.
Yeah. I'm right there with you, bro. I'm on all the GTR like forums and whatnot. But man, I was checking you on Instagram, and this is kind of like the catalyst for me as far as I was looking at you on Instagram. I saw what you were doing, and I was looking at your story, and I was just like, damn, like this guy is super intriguing. And how old are you?
I just turned 20.
20 years old, bro. And this gentleman has his own business. It's basically just apparel. Is that what you mainly focus on? Is it mainly just hats?
Yeah, mainly just hats.
Mainly hats. Okay, yeah. So apparel company, hats. What's the name again?
Felicity Worldwide.
How'd you come up with that name?
So going back, before I started hats, I was actually doing custom shoes, right? Like throughout high school. And
like you're taking white tee or
white Air Force Ones, and I would just customize them.
Really?
I'd throw fabric on there, leather. I'd paint like the whole 9 yards.
Dope, bro.
And it got to a point where it was so hands-on for me.
Yeah.
That it was just like a chore. And I was getting so many orders that I was just in my room. It was basically like a sweatshop out of my mom's bedroom at my mom's house. And I just found myself unhappy doing it.
Yeah.
And so I was like, whatever I start next, it has to be something that I can do and I can genuinely be happy doing it.
Okay.
And that's how I came up with Felicity. It's literally just like another word for happiness.
I like to play on words, bro.
Yeah, that's like a little backstory behind it.
That's sick, dude. That's sick. Well, congratulations. Talk about Liftoff moment to like start your own company and do something, man. And did you always just have that in you innately? Like you just knew like you wanted to do something for yourself? Or was this more so like kind of like, do you have influence from family or?
Nah, it was always in me. Like, and my mom, she always told me that too.
Really?
When I was younger, I was
driven.
I kind of get it. Like the creative side from my mom and the
Okay.
business side from my dad.
Okay.
And I'm really just like a 50-50 split of both of them. So
That's
I
what's up.
took both of those traits together, and this is the outcome.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. So, anyone that don't know who Malik is, you got to check him out. The links are going to be down below. And dope Instagram. We both love cars. And the fact that you started your own company at this age, you're so much further ahead than a lot of individuals out there. And you said before we got on the show that, like, there's a lot of individuals that are inspired by what you're doing, but we don't really know what we don't know. So today we can open the hood, if you will,
Yeah.
and go deeper on that. You know what I'm saying? So, like, let's go back into your story a little bit about, like, you know, growing up and to get to the point where you're at now, so our viewers and listeners can just kind of conceptualize, you know, because I think that some innately have it in them, and some maybe, I don't know, maybe like they evolve into it and they get to a point where they're like, man, I want to do something for myself. And if this is you out there and you don't like what you're doing and you're not happy, then maybe, I don't know, by the end of the show you might be like, dude, like, I'm starting an apparel company, I don't know, or whatever you want to do.
I mean, yeah, man. When I was growing up, I wasn't the best kid. I would get into a lot of trouble, and I found myself always trying to fit in with different crowds.
Okay.
Right. So I went to a charter school. My mom tried to put me in a nice school growing up,
Mm-hmm.
and I generally just did not fit in.
Yeah.
So I was just trying my best to please other people, right? And that was
Mm-hmm.
all the way up until like high school. So it wasn't until quarantine 2020 I was able to kind of spend that time alone.
Yeah.
And since we weren't in school, we are doing like the online and stuff like that. So I was able to spend that time alone, like at home, and just figure out myself, like who I wanted to be.
I love that.
Right.
Love
And
that.
like up until that point, I was trying many different side hustles, like reselling stuff
Yeah.
on Facebook Marketplace,
Okay.
OfferUp. I would customize like Xbox controllers and
That's
make
awesome.
like the custom Xboxes and stuff like that and resell them.
Yeah.
But in 2020, like I said, that's when I did the shoes. Right?
Okay.
And
Did you find, like, how did you even start that? Like, did you see something on YouTube or a short or
was
something, and you're like, oh, like, this is
Yeah,
dope?
I actually I saw a couple YouTube videos. I would see it on Instagram. Like at that time,
Yeah.
even before then, like 2018, it was really popular.
Okay.
A lot of people were like like craving after these custom Air Force Ones, these custom shoes because they want
That's
to be
what's
different.
up. Yeah.
Like that's just what I got into because I liked the shoes. I was kind of like a sneakerhead at the time, so I was like,
Yeah.
let me switch it up, let me be different,
Yeah.
and try to get on this wave, and that's exactly what I did.
That's what's up, bro.
And I think I got in at the perfect time because that's kind of like what catapulted me into the whole like running a business and just learning like the business side of things.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's easy to, like, and if anyone out there can relate to this, is to conform. You know, I think just in general, a lot of us just conform, and I think it's maybe something that's a bit more like innate in us from the perspective of like the powers of be, right? It's just like, okay, you need to, you know, go to school and you got to figure out what you want to do as far as go to college, and like you get your degree, and then you go and you work your 30 years and you have your 401k and you have your kids and your white picket fence and a dog or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But like, I feel like you're one of the individuals out there that are shining light on more people to be like, hey, like, stand out, be your own, do your own thing, don't be like someone else. And I relate to you just like on the shoes customization, like I'm like that with the cars. Like, I don't want to be like anybody else. It's just so boring. So many cars out there are like black, gray, white. It's like, come on, man, like, let's get some color. Let's do something different, you know? And so how was it for anyone who's like in the place that you were trying to fit in with other people? Like, you're going to, you know, meeting this group, whatever, and then like, what happened? Was it just like you just didn't connect, or were you there for a little bit and then you left? Like, how did you navigate the relationships?
I would navigate them by just picking and choosing like the people I wanted to be around.
Okay.
Right? And like I said, I wasn't the best kid growing up. I got into like a lot of trouble. Like my life did a complete 180.
Really?
Honestly, I thank God for it. But it was just
Amen.
surrounding myself around the wrong people, and
Okay.
it kind of like stirred me into a better direction. So
Mm.
that's kind of how I navigated through that. And then I just ultimately came to the realization like, okay, this is not going to get you to where you want to be. You're always gonna be trying to please other people. Like,
Yeah.
like be you. Like it's cool to be you. You know?
Yeah. Were you getting in trouble, do you think, because like you were trying to like get into a crowd or a group of people that you thought were the ones that like were your tribe, and then like they were doing the shit that you got into and then they were like influencing you, or were you doing it on your own?
Yeah, they were heavily influencing me. And,
See?
you know, I'm not gonna like blame it on like everybody makes their own decisions.
Of course.
Right? But like, if I wasn't around those people, a lot of the decisions I made that got me
Yeah.
into trouble, I wouldn't have done on my own.
Yeah, but influence is real. I think people get so stubborn because they don't want to hear it from their mom or their dad or whatever else. We'll hear it today from like a random podcast. You feel me? Your influence is real, and who you're around will dictate the outcome of your inevitable future. If you're not consistently around someone that uplifts you or gives you inspiration, motivation, whatever. So good for you for like seeing the writing on the wall and like going into a different direction. And like, what was the catalyst? Like, did you get like to a certain point of like in trouble or whatever where you're like, oh shit, like what am I doing here? Like you know what I'm saying? Like, what was the
Yeah.
catalyst?
Honestly, it was like multiple events, like one after the other.
Yeah.
And it like honestly just like disappointed my mom too. Like
Ah,
seeing the disappointment
can't
get
disappoint
you know what I'm
moms.
saying? Like getting more and more disappointed
Yeah.
in me. I'm like, all right, someone's got to change.
Okay.
And so that's what I'm saying. When I wasn't able to surround myself around those type of people,
Yeah.
and I was just by myself during quarantine. That's when I really did that.
Self-reflection.
Exactly.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So now you're starting the company. Now you get into the company that you have now. And how did you even like say, okay, hats is it? Like, this is what I want to do. Want to get into hats. Like, how did the beginning even start like that?
So throughout high school, I would always wear hats. Like up until it was my senior year, and I just started.
You got hair underneath there, bro? You good?
Yeah, no.
Okay, go. Yeah. I know. If you are losing hair, you can wear some hats, but
Just a little bit.
a little bit. It's good.
But yeah, in high school, I'd always wear hats. Like,
Okay.
I would always have the newest hat, collecting as many as possible.
That's what's up.
And then I realized I was just like, why not I just make my own? Like it kind of like the same feeling I had with the custom shoes. I was like,
Yeah.
why not I just make something of my own?
Okay.
And then I realized like, oh, I could do the same thing I was doing with the shoes, but with the hats, and I don't have to physically make them, right? Like I
Dope.
could just design them,
Okay.
have a manufacturer make them for me,
Yeah.
and just mass produce and just market and sell.
Yeah.
That's exactly how I did it.
Okay. And then when you're thinking about like designs, is that yours right there?
Yeah, this one's mine right
That's
here.
what's up. So when you're thinking about designing a hat and going through that process, go a little deeper in the process for someone out there who maybe wants to go down the same road that you're in. So like manufacturing, like how do you figure that out? You know what I'm saying? Like, do you have to have like capital to even start to order a run? And then, I mean, dude, like everything from marketing, fulfillment, design, like you're wearing, no pun intended, multiple hats. You feel me? So like
Yeah.
how like how did that even roll out?
Everything I've learned has been through YouTube, right?
Really?
Like everything I've learned through YouTube and trial and error. I haven't had a mentor. I still don't have a mentor.
Okay.
And majority of everything I do is just done by me. Obviously we got Rob, my content guy.
Behind the scenes over here.
I'm starting to build a little team because things are getting big now. But in the beginning, like all you need is YouTube, and you just need to start. That's the biggest thing to getting into starting a business is the trial and error. YouTube, learning everything you could possibly learn, but just don't consume that information. You actually have to act on it.
Yeah.
And so, as far as manufacturing, I always knew that you could find somebody on Alibaba. If you're not familiar with that, it's literally just overseas. A bunch of companies on there. It's like a marketplace for manufacturers.
Yeah.
And I think I tested like 3 different ones before I did my full bulk order.
Okay.
And for those of you who don't know what that is, it's just a large amount of items you order from your manufacturer. And before you order bulk, you want to get a sample, right, to make sure everything's good.
Yep.
They made your product correctly. And yeah, that's how I got into the manufacturing side. And now I have a great relationship with my current manufacturer. We've done thousands of hats together.
Nice, bro. Congratulations, Liftoff right there, bro. And I think a big thing for people to think about outside of just like starting a business is like taking like you said, go on YouTube, do the research, but take the actions and also be smart about like putting a fulfillment in for order, because you don't want to like put in a huge order and then you're not happy with the product and then you're like, damn, I just lost whatever it was with that investment. I mean, I'm sure you ever get burnt.
Yeah, that's happened to me before, right? So the hat was supposed to be a fitted hat, which is non-adjustable. It's 9 different sizes.
Got it.
And they screwed me over. They made all the hats adjustable.
Okay.
And at this time, I didn't have the capital, so what I did was a pre-order. So I'd order the sample, I'd promote the hat, advertise it, and people see it and they're like, okay, yeah, like I'll pre-order. I'll wait a couple weeks for it to come in, and I'll be happy with my product. So I had about like 60 something pre-orders at the time, which was huge at the moment, like starting out. But once the order came in, the hats were all adjustable. The color was off on the bottom. So I had to refund. Like I was negative. Like I had to refund those orders. Like my initial investment turned into like basically double, like negative, because I had to refund all the orders, the money I spent on advertisements. So like it's stuff like that you got to go through when you're running a business.
Yeah, most definitely, bro. I mean, I feel like at the end of the day, it's like you could pay to go to school, and then the school will teach you things, but not hard knocks like that. or you can go through the process you went through and then you learn, that way, and it's your own business and you could bounce back or not, but obviously you did. So kudos for you on that side. Definitely a lift off moment right there for sure. And so I'm curious, like when you think about, it's one thing to like correct, 'cause you have two sides of the mind, right? You have one side is like creative, artistic, that type of stuff, and the other side is like doer, like ads, like getting the work done, fulfillment. Like there's two different sides. Like how do you navigate both sides of the business that you have? I mean, and it's one thing to be like, oh yeah, I got some dope hats, but it's another thing to be like, all right, like here's the gram, like here's the ads, like here's gonna be how we drive the traffic in to the said location, website, right, whatever, and then start to get the fulfillment and orders in, then fulfillment. So like, how did you even start that process, bro? Like
Yeah.
from the beginning?
Now that you asked that, because I've never really had anybody ask me that question, but it's just like it's just a lot of hard work. Like now I look back at everything, it's just me being hungry and like really wanting the business to work,
Yes.
right? And we'll
Yes.
get into that a little later, like the driving factor behind like why I wanted it to be so successful.
Okay.
But as far as ads, I knew I needed something to get my product in front of the eyes of people,
Yeah.
just besides like regular viral videos.
Yeah.
That's how I started. I had a TikTok account. I grew it to like 6,000 followers.
Let's
I
go.
only had like 3 viral videos,
Okay.
which thankfully sold out my first drop.
Hey,
But,
there you go.
but
That's what's
after
up.
that, like I couldn't get anything to shake. So I was like, I got to learn advertisements, paid advertisements. And that's
Mm.
exactly what I did.
Okay.
And I was just like throwing stuff at the wall to see if it would stick.
Yeah.
And I just kept going over and over and over and just consuming as much knowledge as possible on
Mm. So how do you navigate the process of like, okay, cool. So you're gonna develop these hats. You're gonna do a run. So you got to order those hats. You got to have capital for that, but you also have to have capital for the ads that you're running. And at the beginning, you don't know what's gonna hit and what's not gonna hit on the ad. So like, how did you navigate that like very delicate process where you could like spend all your money on an ad and you're not getting nothing out of it?
Like,
You know what I'm saying? You're like, well, shit. Like, I'm going to go knock on some doors. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how do you navigate that?
I mean, at the time, when I was starting my business, first starting running the paid ads, I was working at Raising Cane's, so
Okay,
I
okay.
was saving majority of my paychecks to go into the business, right? So living
Mm,
with my parents, my mom wasn't charging me rent.
that's
All I
cool.
had was just like my car payment,
Yeah.
and my insurance and stuff like that, right? So is what I would do is just take care of my fixed expenses and put everything else towards the ads,
Okay.
right? And
Okay.
my mindset behind it was, okay, say I spend $100 today,
Mm,
I have to get 2 sales because I charge like $50 minimum price for like each hat. So I was like, those two
mm.
sales will cover the $100 I spent, and whatever comes in after that, like
Love
I'm
it.
good to go.
Love
So
it.
that's kind of how I would gauge it. Some days I wouldn't get any sales, $100 gone, but then we
Damn.
just tweak and fix and see what we can do to get those sales in.
Mm,
And a lot of it's not even about the ad; it's about how your
mm.
website's structured and set up for
Yeah.
conversion, so people like can trust you and buy.
Yeah. Yeah. I was doing a video, like, I think it was like yesterday, the difference between like branding is different than like brand equity. Like you could have, or like a business is different than brand. Like the brand is like the know, like, trust, and then like the other side of the coin is like the business, the SOPs, the standard operating procedures, the KPIs, the key performance indicators, and like focusing on income producing activities. And so you're always like, okay,
Both
it's like,
sides, yeah.
yeah, yeah. But it sounds like you've done something to like build loyal fans and build a foundation where people already like feel comfortable, right? Because that's the thing. It's like there's so many ads, and who out there can relate. Like you're like scrolling, and you're like, oh my god, so much
Right.
shit. You know what I'm saying? And then as soon as algorithm catches because you're talking about a hat, and then it shows up on your phone, or you search for something online, then it shows up on your phone. You're like, dude, I swear to God, I didn't say. I just said something, and now it's on my phone. Like, you know what I'm saying? For out there have that shit happen, it's like,
Yeah.
bro, like, you listen to me. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like how it's like, how do you even, balance all that? But the fact that you balanced it from YouTube and just having that tenacity is kudos to you, bro. Congratulations, man.
Thank you.
Like that's huge. But I think that like when you're hungry, anyone out there who's listening, viewing, it's a different concept, because when you're hungry and you just like, there's just no other way. It's
There's
like,
no other way, no other option,
yeah,
no plan B. Like this was it for me, honestly. Like, I tell people that they'll ask me like, "Did you have any plans on going to college or anything?" I no. Like when I was
all or
graduating,
nothing.
when I was graduating high school, I was like, whether it's Felicity or not, I'm gonna have
Yeah.
some sort of online business, whether
Mm.
that's selling hats, selling anything else, but I knew I wanted to do something online for sure.
I love that. I love that. Okay, so we're doing the hats right now. We're already in. I can't believe time flies already. Like 20 minutes in. Let's give them some context as much as you want to give them context as far as like fulfillment orders, how many orders you putting out now, like if you want to drop any numbers, like where you at revenue wise on a monthly basis, what did you last year, whatever you feel comfortable, just for the viewers and listeners now to like conceptualize, okay, hearing all this stuff. And some people need to equate numbers to success. You know what I'm saying? They want to be like, oh, well, how many hats is he really selling? And okay, it's $50 times how many hats? And they want to, that's me. I want to figure it out. Like, what's bust out my calculator. I'm like, all right, oh damn, he did like 100 grand. You know what I'm saying? So like, take us on a little journey with that, man, so people can actually understand, like, you're the real deal outside of just like, yeah, you're selling a couple hats.
Right. So, I mean, we could drop numbers. Honestly, I don't
Drop numbers, bro.
You want to do that? Do you want to like show my dashboard to the camera?
Let's go,
Like,
bro. Let's go.
let's
Let's get a little closer. Your camera's straight in front of you, bro, and you can see what I can see right here on the screen, and so they can see, and you can see what they're gonna see. But yeah. So I think it's good to go deeper, right? So you all conceptualize what's happening here, because, I mean, we all deserve to have liftoff. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not just for like the big corporate conglomerates, or just for people that were like spoon fed a silver spoon in their mouth. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't come from shit. Like, this is all, I'm the first. Like cycle breaker, right?
Yeah.
So let's get some cycle breakers to.
So we'll do a recap of last year, right? Last year was my most successful year with the brand. I've only been in business for a little over 2 years now.
Congrats.
Right. So
2 years, 20 years old. Damn, bro. That's what's up.
They still be able to hear me good?
Kinda. We'll just get to talk loud, but yeah.
We'll just show 'em. So
Just show them, and then we'll have them zoom in. You just show the camera. We'll have Raina zoom in. He's doing all the editing and whatnot too. So
focus. But last year, 2024, I sold. Not even I sold. I did 5,257 orders, which
Damn.
came out to be $317,000 in total sales.
in some hats, bro. Let's go. Straight lift off right there, bro. Let's go. Let's see if you can see it. There it is. Boom. That's it. 317. That's what's up. Man, congratulations, bro. That's huge. And so when you're thinking about selling these hats and doing what you're doing, I mean, just 2 years in, that's freaking awesome. Did you manifest, conceptualize, put together a vision board, or were you just like focus, just keep on moving, and then like the year went by and you're like, damn, I just did 5,000 units?
Honestly, my biggest goal last year was just to sell as many hats as possible. So there's a lot of things that I lacked. Like, don't see that I sold over 5,000 hats and like everything went smooth. Like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of stuff that I had to really like hone in on and figure out to grow the business for this year.
Yeah.
So one of those things was my customer service. You
Mm.
would think at that point I'm getting so many orders that I would, bring somebody on, take care
Mhm.
of like all the emails, all the
Mhm.
return and stuff like that. But I didn't. Like, I was handling it.
Damn.
Yeah, I was handling it up until a certain point.
Yeah.
And I kind of just let it like fall off just because it became so much. It was just like one of those things like, you gotta sacrifice something.
Yeah.
I don't recommend doing that because it hurt me a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was one of those things. My fulfillment time was a lot longer than what it should have been.
Okay.
So that left me with some unhappy customers.
Yep.
But overall, to get to that point, it was more of me being consistent, and what helped me get there is being consistent with the ads.
Mm.
So that's kind of like the little secret behind it, because
Yeah.
you constantly want your product in front of people.
Yeah.
Right? Like, they buy. Like, a statistic is somebody needs to see your ad at least 7 times before they actually purchase.
Okay.
I don't really think that's 100% true, but it's just a statistic that's out there. So
Yeah.
you just want to keep that in mind when you're running your ads. Like,
Mhm.
say if you run an ad for the first time and you only have it on for like 2 days running and you're losing money, like, you have to keep that in the back of your head. Like, okay, people are seeing it, but they need to keep seeing it to buy. So,
Yeah, for sure. No, it makes a whole lot of sense, because you got to catch them. They're kind of like excited, and then it's like either get them right away, or they're excited and then they're like, oh, I'll get paid on Monday, like, or whatever. So like, I'll get that on Monday. And I know what's it's easier for a lot of people out there now is because it links to like the payments. So it's like, oh, I'll just get it now and get on payment. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's another hack. I are you familiar with like the whole paying for like Klarna stuff like that? Yeah.
I know the services, yeah.
Yeah, that's another hack. Like a lot of people, they want to be able to have stuff right then and there
Mm-hmm.
and not have to pay for the full upfront. So like a lot of people buy like 5, 6 hats in one
Oh
order,
damn.
and then they'll just do the paying for, but you get the whole amount up front
Yeah, yeah.
because that service they're covering the cost.
That's
So,
what's up.
yeah.
When did you implement that?
Honestly, about like 6, 7 months ago.
You probably seen a huge
Yeah,
increase.
huge increase. Huge,
Yeah.
like you want to promote that like on the homepage, like as much as you want to put it in their face as much as possible.
Yeah, yeah. You know, I'm not gonna even lie, bro. Like, I still use that shit.
I use it too.
You know what I'm saying? You to give me some free money, bro. Like, I was like GTR parts, bro. Like,
That's what I'm saying.
you know?
And a lot of them do no interest either. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
How do you? I mean, free money. You know what I'm saying? Like the banks, the hedge funds, like they're using all our money and whatever else. It's like might as well just take advantage of that. I love that, man. That's huge. Well, first off, thanks so much for being transparent and showing everyone exactly what your numbers look like and what you've done, because I think that shows a lot about your character and being transparent with that. And the thing is too is like you're selling a product, and so there's not like reoccurring revenue. It's like they place an order, and then I'm sure there's a margin of individuals that order again. But I mean, what is that as far as from new customers ordering to like reoccurring or customers coming back? Like,
Most of it is new customers, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, I can imagine.
my biggest goal right now is to keep as many reoccurring customers as possible because that's what keeps the business running.
Yes.
Because you only pay once to acquire those customers, and then they just keep coming back, keep coming back.
Yep.
So with that is you constantly need new products to satisfy those reoccurring customers.
Yes.
And one thing that I want to implement this year is bringing on a designer to help me just
Okay.
get a slew of new hats. And that way I could just like do specific drops for my reoccurring customers, and then all my best sellers can go to acquiring new customers.
I love that. I love that. I think there's anyone out there that's like, damn, hella inspired right now and want to start your own thing. I think that it's smart. Like, figure out what the things that you like to do and the things that you don't like to do so much, then like delegate those things. You know what I'm saying? Like, so like what would be the things 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things you love the most out of your business, and the things that you're like, I'd rather just delegate or hire for it.
I actually did just bring somebody on, and I met her through the car community, and
Okay.
she's taking care of all my emails.
Okay.
We've probably been working together for about a month, and she's killing it.
Yeah.
Shout out to Allie.
Shout out Allie.
Those are one of the things that I've delegated so far, and it's made my life so much easier. Like,
Okay.
I'll just go to my computer. She has all the orders I need to take care of, and it's just the rest is green from there.
That's what's
I
up.
just take care of them, and she'll email them back. They're happy.
Okay. So she's
But-
kind of like customer service,
Yeah, she's customer
fulfillment.
service, all of that. Yeah.
Okay.
So another thing that I delegate would probably be the process of like fulfilling all the orders. Like now that I have like people I can trust, people I can bring in,
Yeah.
handle all the inventory and stuff like that, makes life a lot easier instead of trying to
Love
do
it.
everything on my own.
Yeah.
So I definitely want to build that up this year, and that's pretty much it, man. Like I like running the ads.
Okay.
It's kind of like a game to me, like in a way. Like you got to figure out like the secrets and the little cheat codes and the
Yeah.
hacks to get like a winning ad.
Kudos to you, bro, on that.
That's one thing I really like doing. Another thing is just like the creative side is how I want the content to look.
Mm-hmm.
Rob's done some of my photo shoots before,
Shout out Rob.
killed it. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
there's a lot of things I still enjoy doing, but I know once I get to that certain point, I'm gonna have to delegate
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
So
Definitely. Yeah. And that's the thing. You're either working on the business or in the business. And then as soon as the business can run on its own, that's where it's just like, all right, cool. And that's what I have is I have a partner behind the scenes that does the website development for Liftoff Agent, who sponsors the show. Shout out. And we have Raineth behind the scenes. He's doing the editing right now. And just like you have fulfillment overseas, we have fulfillment overseas in the Philippines as far as our back office. And so I'm just responsible for sales on the front end for the company and the rest on the back end. But yeah, we haven't got any ads, bro. I haven't dipped into that. And so it's something that like, it's a little harder because my niche is real estate professionals. But the cool thing about our niche is that it's reoccurring. So we have like 250 agents across the country in 17 states, and then we'll have like 168 that we're going to bring in this year. So I have like 458 plus agents across the country. And then the goal is like 15,000 agents in 8 years at 12 million a month, $168 million a year with a $300 million exit. So that's my goal with that. And the numbers are whatever, they're arbitrary, but just sounds cool and it inspires me. So I'm like, all right, cool. Like at least I know like what it looks like. But kudos for you, because ads are like, yeah, it's everything. Everything.
Yeah, it's everything.
It's everything. And then then the look and the feel, and I could tell that like your vibe when you guys go follow him down below, links down there. You do have kind of like this mysterious type of vibe, and you only give so much that makes individuals want so much more. You know what I'm saying?
100%. And I don't like to post everything like how you just asked me to show numbers.
Yeah.
Like that is a rare occurrence. When I first started,
I
it was my
appreciate that.
first time seeing numbers like that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like obviously I want to like share them, kind of
Of
show them
course.
off a little bit. But as I started to see more and more success, I started to become like more and more low key on that
Yeah.
side. And like I don't show too much of my personal life on social media. I try to keep it just business, so
Yep.
that way I could motivate people
Yeah.
and they can be inspired by me.
I love it, bro. Hey, you're definitely the yin to the yang, bro. Because for me, you see my stories. I got my whole life out there, and it's I will say it does bite you in the ass sometimes because everyone is subject to your own opinion, and I totally get it. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? And I had the opportunity to work with someone, and the stories basically just older gentleman, whatever, average age real estate professional, like 56. You know what I'm saying? So I get it. So I think that to each is your own. And I feel like, I don't know why, but I feel like if you look at like the Alex Moseys out there and you look at the Gary V's and stuff like that, like you don't see a lot of the stuff behind the scenes, kind of like what they're doing day in the life type thing.
Right.
So that's my vibe for what it is. I'm crazy, but eventually it'll make sense. I'm just gonna keep going.
That's the goal.
It'll make sense at some
Like if
point.
somebody doesn't get it at some point, they will get it.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's how it
You
goes.
know, and that's how I met my wife
Really.
off Instagram, bro. That's how I met my old vice president at Liftoff is Instagram. So it's like, it does work as far as going deeper and building connections. That's how we, are sitting here right now because of Instagram.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Which is cool, and that's how we got connected with the cars.
You know, it's funny. Like I probably went about like 4 years with just not posting on
Huh.
Instagram, and it was
Okay.
just through that time period. Like I said, I was hanging around the wrong people or whatever.
Yeah.
But I was just super shy, like almost like insecure. Like I did not.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't want to be on Instagram at all. So
Huh.
the business has definitely helped me. Like growing the business has helped me grow my confidence.
That's what's
In a
up.
sense, like just proving to myself, like, okay, you're capable of doing this. So it kind
Yeah.
of just like builds the confidence, and then
Yeah.
I started to realize how important it is to make content and just
Mm.
put yourself out there so people can see you.
I like that though. I like that. I think you got a good happy medium because like you attracted me, and that's why I was like, okay, I'm attracted to this dude. Like, I just met him because of car thing, and I had this podcast, and like, let's just vibe out for a couple hours and just talk.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Outside of like, I saw you at the last car show, but there's thousands of people. A lot going on. It's crazy, Bugattis and the whole nine. It was a dope show. And then it's just like we get so busy in our day to day. It's nice sometimes just to slow down and have a conversation, and then to record it and put it online and inspire just one person. Like maybe lots from this episode, but it's cool, man.
It is.
It's super cool. It's super cool. So going through this process, what's your thoughts? Like obviously, God's army, bro. Like faith. You know what I'm saying? Like when you think about faith when it comes to business and meeting someone like Rob or whoever in the car community, um, how does faith play into all of it for you?
100%. It's everything. Like without faith, there there wouldn't be anything, right? Like whether you believe in a God or not.
Mm,
I do. I'm Christian, but with the business, you don't know if it's gonna work or not. Like you
yeah,
have no idea. Like you'll have
yeah,
this idea, and you'll have like this business idea or whatnot, or you want to do this, you want to do that,
hmm,
but you can't really see the future.
yeah,
So you just have to believe and have that blind faith going into it. Like, okay, cool. Like this is gonna work. Like I believe, right? So it's faith is like a full circle in my life.
wow, bro, wow. So how has it played into your life, and is it like, I don't know, are you meditating on it, praying on it, like, you know what I'm saying, like,
Yeah, got
just
to.
yeah,
Got to. It keeps you more like stable. That way you're not
mm,
like in your mind like overthinking
mm-hmm,
or guessing. Like
mm-hmm,
keeping my trust in God has really helped me throughout the business. Like how I told you that story where I lost out. I was negative on that shipment of inventory. I had all those
yep,
orders I had to refund.
yep.
That could have been a breaking point. I could have stopped. I could have gave up, but I was faithful. And
That's what's up.
you just got to continue to be faithful throughout everything.
I love that, man. It's so true too, because I think we get so caught up in the fear and the unknowns that someone out there could be like, no, like, and it's like, no, yes, like keep moving forward. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? You don't know what you don't know until you know, and that's where I feel like, I don't know, even when running ads, you gotta like have faith that the ads are gonna
Gonna
run
work. You have
and they're gonna
no
work.
idea. Like even
Yeah.
now, sometimes I'll launch an ad and I'll be like, I don't know if this is gonna work, but let me just launch it. Let me just see if it works. Like, I'm faithful, man. I just I believe that what I'm doing right now, I was meant to be doing it,
Yeah.
and there's a bigger purpose behind it.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to sell hats forever, but I think right now the point that I've made it to in my life and the success that I have achieved is it's all meant to be.
Yeah, 100%, man. Congratulations on that. Definitely liftoff moment, and it's fun, man. I think anyone who's viewing and listening, it's like, yeah, you can go through the process if you want to, and just get your degree and do your career. That's totally fine.
Yeah.
And I think on the other side is it's like it's fun, like hanging off the edge. You know what I'm saying? You're like, oh, am I gonna big old cliff? Like, am I gonna fall? I'm just hanging on the edge. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Like, we got two flips, and so it went from fun to like these are a drag right now. It's like I got to pay this lot rent. I got this extra money I got to fork out. I was just trying to help the wife out with her stuff, and she was teaching, and she went full time with her tea company. So I was just trying to help her out. I'm like, let's use your money. You got 100 grand sitting here, instead of sitting in the bank, it's gonna go nowhere. Like, let's reinvest it. And
Yeah.
you know, it doesn't always work out the way you think it is.
It doesn't, but for me, that's the fun part about it. Like, even though like sometimes it could get hard, like, you know what I mean, for any business owner, and some people can't handle that. Like,
Yeah.
some people are just meant to work jobs. Some people are meant to be entrepreneurs. Some people like it just depends on which side you're on, and there's nothing wrong with that at
Yeah.
all. Like, some people are okay with not being an entrepreneur, not being like extremely successful. Like, success looks different for everybody.
Everybody.
Right. So when people say like, "Oh, I'm going to school," I don't try to judge them or anything like, "Oh, why are you going to school, start a business?" Da da. Like, some people, they're just not made for that.
Yeah, made for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, exactly. It's just like, okay, I'm gonna go to school. You're telling me to start a business. You already have a business, so maybe I just get this knowledge and then I'll come work for your business. You know what I'm saying? Like, it easily worked that way too. So I want to go. I want to take this into more of. We're gonna go into the car world now a little bit. So this is gonna be a little car segment for anyone out there that vibes off cars. I think this is gonna be a good segment because where did the inspiration for you come from to be like, I'm gonna get a Supra? And is it your thing? Because I was checking out some of the tires you're shredding. It seems like you like to do some donuts and shit. So like, is that your signature, bro? Are you the guy who's swinging?
I'm the guy who's swinging, who's doing the burnouts. That's 100% me.
That's you.
And I get that from DDE. I don't know if you're familiar
Oh
with.
yeah, I know
Yeah,
Damon and yeah, I know all of
yeah.
them. Yep.
I grew up watching. I still watch them to this day.
Yeah.
But that's where I get that from. The whole tire slayer, all of that. Like,
Really?
I love. I want. Eventually, I want to have like a drift build, a drift car, and just
I'm right there with you.
go to the track and just slide. Like, even on the streets, we'll keep that under wraps. But
Yeah. No, man. Before we got on the show, I was telling you, man. Like in the GTR, I already got pulled over. Just gave my uncle a ride right here. I was just off baseline. Saturday night, 7 o'clock, 6:30 evening, beautiful night. No one's on the road, and there just happened to be a cop sitting there in the parking lot, not even radaring, just there. And he heard me, and then he tried to catch up to me, and he pulled me over 2 doors from my house. Yeah, and he was just like a straight up asshole, and it's just like no disrespect to law enforcement. It's like, bro, like my daughter's coming out, like I'm just giving my uncle a ride, like he's not ever really going to be driving in a car like this, and I haven't showed him with the ethanol and everything, and so it's just like, and I literally just went out and took my cousin and his son, and that was fine, and then the third time, it's like they're like you're out, and I thought nothing was going to come, and then it came, and I was like, damn, so I was like,
Got you.
I'm hiring an attorney, I'm not even going to try,
Right.
because Arizona, if you don't know. 20 over, misdemeanor, bro. Misdemeanor.
Thankfully, I live in Chandler, so the
Okay.
cops out there, they're very lenient.
Okay.
Nothing but warnings so far. Let's pray we keep it that way.
Yeah.
I've been pulled over a couple times in a Supra. But
Yeah?
nothing but warnings.
Good for you, bro. Good for you. Yeah, I'm looking at track days. That's my goal. My goal is to go out to the track. I wanted to go. What was it? Weekend of Barron Jackson. But my it was like the 23rd or something like that of January. So my wife just had her birthday, so I couldn't go. And then the next track day is going to be, I want to say March 8th. But I'm the best man.
Gotta be the winner.
Father's getting married, you know what I'm saying? So father-in-law, but he's getting married, so I was just doing some shooting. So it's just like, I'm gonna get there, because that's why I like doing the off-roading thing too, is because you could just go ham, like with the TRX. It's like go ham, and there's no cops gonna be like, oh, what are you doing?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Which is dope. But yeah, DDE's dope. Watch them a lot. Stradman's probably a little more my jam than DDE. I feel like DDE's dope, but I feel like sometimes Damon and I don't know. I feel like you could kind of feel the ego a little bit within the content. And like,
Okay.
I think ego is good, but I feel like sometimes it comes off a little arrogant where I'm like, sometimes it gets me a little off put.
Yeah.
But hey, to each your own, and congratulations to them and that Ferrari that they did.
Right.
That thing's sick.
Twin turbo.
That twin turbo Ferrari, like because of Gymkhana and like that's you know.
I just love it. I love it, man. I wasn't always into cars though. I will be honest about that.
Really?
My brother kind of is a big influence of why I'm into cars.
Okay.
He kind of like put me on to all the car YouTubers when I was younger. I'd see him watching them too.
Okay.
So I would just be like intrigued and curious, and then over time I just grew a love for him.
Older brother, younger brother?
Older brother. I'm the youngest out of two other siblings.
What is he driving?
Right now he just has a 2021 Honda Accord.
Okay.
He travels for work, so
so he's not even.
Yeah, he doesn't really need a car, but like as soon as he settled in, I'm sure he's gonna get a C7. That's all he ever talks about. He wants.
Let's go. Yeah. Dude, Corvettes, bro. Bang for the buck. Yeah. Corvettes are where it's at, man. Like I want to get a C8 for the wife, and then.
He's talking about C8. They're growing on me like a lot. At first, I didn't like them, but now like I love them.
It looks like a supercar.
That's what I'm saying.
And you got a supercar for like, you can get just a base model for like, what are they, 50, 60 grand now?
Now.
It's crazy.
Thinking about it.
You know what I'm saying? That's why I got the GTR, because bang for the buck for that too. You know what I'm saying? I picked up mine's 2016 at 37,000 miles and already had like rims, tires, Cobb tune, Cobb intake, exhaust. That was like 70. I got it for like 74.
That's a steal.
It's a steal, bro. And it still only has 45,000 miles on it. And then I've already done like the Tesla screen and a bunch of stuff. And so got a few last little things to do with it. But after you get a couple tickets, bro, it's like so demotivating. You're like, all right, I just spent like $3,000 on the GTR this month. Like, right. You know, it's like, fuck. But it comes with the territory. Anyone who has cars, they know, you know what it's saying. Like it just happens. But I can see you getting some tires, bro, with the blue smoke tires or like any type of colors. You know what I'm saying?
Going crazy.
That'd be sick, dude. That'd be super sick.
But yeah, I don't know. It's just I find the most joy out of doing the burnouts, out of sliding, rather than going fast in a straight line. Like honestly, a couple weekends ago was like my first time ever racing anybody. Like I understand the adrenaline.
Yeah.
At the same time, like after it's just like, okay. But like when you come out of a corner and you're sliding, like it hits different. And then you get it on video, you get to play it back over and over. Like that's what I love.
Yeah, that's sick, bro. That's sick. That's where you got to go out to like Slay and Smoke or some of those car shows and just get your car in there and just do it. I'm sure you could even slide with your Supra.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it's just like, you know, I don't know. You want to keep it. You sliding too over there, Rob?
Always.
He's like always.
I fear like I instigate again. Like, I think I really do something at a red light. It's like, oh my god.
You hearing this or no?
And then I gotta do it. Yeah, he'll do a burnout. I gotta do a burnout. Like
what year your Supra? Same year or what?
Mine's 2020.
2020. What year's yours? 2022.
Yeah.
Much different or no?
Nah, not really. He has the premium. I just have the regular 3.0. So
okay.
I don't have like the leather seats, the heated steering wheel, heated seats or whatever.
Yeah.
But that's
literally the only difference.
Yeah.
Weight reduction, bro. You know what I'm saying?
I do like his seats better because the leather is hot in the summer.
Oh yeah.
Mine's like the Alcantara.
That's true.
Seats. Yeah.
That's true. That's what's up. Yeah. No, that was cool. It was cool because like you never know who you're gonna meet. Like we starting the show, you know, and it's always cool when you're doing like the flame map and people get the video and then you get to like get shared and reshared and stuff like that.
I remember you were shooting flames like crazy. I don't have a flame map, but
no.
I actually just straight piped the Supra and it spit a flame. We got it to spit.
That's sick. I got the flame map on accident.
Oh.
So I got the GTR second launch last year, blew out the drive shaft. And so I had to go out to the Philippines. So I'm getting the drive shaft redone. Before I got back, my father-in-law like took the car to the shop. I just disengaged it. So it was just rear-wheel drive. Rear-wheel drive GTR is nuts. And I wish there was a button. Like you put it in R mode, you could like put a button and just disengage the front end, but it doesn't do that. So I put it in, and during that same time, I had this guy Brad with shout out PPC up in. He has a shop for just mainly GTRs up in Salt Lake City, Utah, and he's like, it's probably your ETS unit that sends the signal to all four tires. I was like, really? He's like, yeah. So I got back from the Philippines, picked it up from the shop, drove it to the gym. It was off. I was like, oh damn! You turn, it was locking. So I hit up Brad, and he's like, all right. So he literally sent a truck. We towed it up to Salt Lake City, Utah. And then he pulled out the tranny, and then he retuned it from Cobb to Ecutech. And then I get there, and the next thing you know, he's like, yeah, I put the flame map. Like, what is that? And he like puts it in the flame map and starts shooting it. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, it was crazy, bro. And I ended up driving back. I flew in, got there at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I drove throughout the evening. And then I was going through like up north, like over by Flagstaff, and I was like doing some rally car shit because it was like snowing. Like driving there, I was like, I did not expect this right now, but it's cool. It was like the best drive ever, bro. It was
Yeah.
so much fun,
Shooting flames is another one of those things for me. Like, it's super cool. For my car, like
dude.
when you do the flame map, it's not good for the engine at all whatsoever. So
Yeah.
it just shoots flames naturally. Like, you got to get it hot, turn up the burbles.
Yeah,
Just a couple flames pop out the back.
that's what's up. And it's like, I don't know about the laws with that. Anyone who knows about the laws, comment below, because like you're not speeding, but you are shooting flames. I don't know if someone could be in danger. You're on the freeway, but
right.
you know what I'm saying?
They count it as public endangerment.
They count it as public
It's
endangerment.
more reckless driving because it is a danger to people. I don't know what it's.
Shit.
That's crazy.
I'm gonna have to chill out, bro.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that.
I don't know how I feel about that either, dude. Man, why I gotta be taking our fun away for it? You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, why don't we have an Autobahn out here? You know?
Yeah, I actually like that's on the bucket list. I wanna go to that.
Right?
See.
Like, we need Autobahn.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, come on, man. Like, that's where the checks come into play.
That's how you know you made it though. You get the car shipped out to Germany and just hit the Autobahn.
Dude, you watch that Shmee guy?
Yeah.
Shmee 150, he's like taking his car all over the place, man. I'm like, what the? This guy
End goal.
in goal, bro. You living your true life, man. Living your true life. So 317,000, crushing it with the hats, 5,000 sales. You said it's not forever. So have you thought about what your, not maybe end goal is, but the next 5 to 10 years, like where you're going to go and like what it looks like for you?
Yeah, it's funny you say that because we were all talking about that together as a group.
Yeah.
5 to 10 years, no, but I definitely do have an idea of where I want to be, probably within the next year or so.
Okay.
Maybe even 2 years. But I take things day by day, which is why I don't think too far into the future. You know, like I was saying earlier, that you really can't control the future. There's only so much you can control. But as far as my exit for Felicity, I want to do what you do. I want to do real estate, and that's how you caught my eye. I looked at your page and I was like, I could learn something from him.
That's what's
I mainly just want to buy and flip and just renovate homes.
Okay.
Another thing, probably like some interior designing, something I find very fascinating.
I like that.
Yeah, that's my exit. I know there's a lot of money in real estate.
Yeah.
Housing market can be crazy, can be very
volatile.
Exactly, sometimes, but that's what I look forward to in the future.
That's what's up, man. Now, good for you. I think real estate is great. I think so. For me, just some context, like I'm on the real estate marketing side, so I talk with a lot of real estate agents and coaches, and we have Real Estate First Tech, which is more focused on real estate and technology. And so, as far as like, I am an investor and do the house hacking we talked before we got on the show,
right?
And which is great. And I think anyone who's out there who's listening, like, get on Airbnb or get online, Roomster, whatever, Craigslist, wherever you want to post, Facebook, and just get people, like, fill up the house with rooms, like roommates. And like, you know what I'm saying? So if you could be in the master and you could fill up all the rooms and you can be making money or get paid to live there, like that's clutch. And you can find good people to be around. Like, I think that's money. And with the volatility thing, I think you just got to be doing something that's going to help you be able to get through the ups and the downs, and that's where the flips suck. When it's down and it's a buyer's market like right now, the flips suck, you know. And it's like we got 120, 130 locked up in just 2 flips, and it sucks because it's like, all right, we got to pay an extra $2,500 a month just to save this money. You know what I'm saying? Because if we let these things go, then it's just like, okay, now we just lost out on $120,000, and it's like, makes no sense. And so, so that's where I think having a good balance of like, okay, have roommates, house hack, or Airbnb, or rental properties too, because it's like the magic is when you can hold the property, because then you can write off depreciation asset and you can be able to like save on taxes, and it just works more in your favor compared to like just having like a business like you have, which is great. It's just like, okay, like how much profit you make. Okay, now you got to pay on those profits, unless you start to look at other ways to leverage, you know, that cash flow to be able to, you know, get an investment property, which I think is super smart for anyone out there.
Yeah, that's the
super
goal.
Smart.
That's the goal.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. I love that. Yeah, I definitely. Houses are cool, but if you have other people paying for you, that's even cooler. You know what I'm saying?
Right, you living it for free.
Yeah, 100%. You know, and it's cool too, because like you never know who you'll meet. Good relationships with new people that you never even knew you'd meet before, just because you open up your house, you know. And I think that some people out there are just so close-minded to even that concept. But it's just like, if you're always in your phone and you don't want anyone in your house and you're not meeting no one new, it's like, well, at what point are you gonna let that guard down?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like at some point, you know what I'm saying?
Like, you gotta
So
put yourself out there.
you do.
Yeah.
100%. So you're starting to hire on the team now. When you said like your group, like what does this mean like to the viewers and listeners out there? Who's the group? I see Rob.
There's Rob, there's Mac, there's Seth, and please, if you're watching this and I don't mention your name, do not get offended at all. Like,
Okay.
I'm surrounded. Like at this point in my life, I've never been surrounded by such a great group of people. Like it's never been like
Let's
this before.
go.
Like Rob, he inspires me to make the content. Mac inspires me just to be, just to be an overall better person, like a more people person.
Let's go.
Like
Love it.
yeah, those are my dogs, man.
That's what's up,
and,
man.
and they're always down to come through, help me pack orders with anything with the business, content wise. Like it's just genuine. Just right now, I have like I said, the most genuine connections with people I've ever had before.
That's what's up. So a show or what? You guys gonna do a show? Do a little vlog or what?
Yeah, we put out like
You
YouTube
put out some
videos
content?
or whatever. Yeah, we went to California. He vlogged the whole trip.
That's what's
I
up.
think it was amazing because I probably wouldn't have picked up the camera, but it's nice to have people around like
That's sick, dude.
that just
Good for you guys.
inspire you to be better. You know.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's a huge thing, which we talked about earlier too, is just like making sure you're around the right people, and your vibe creates your tribe. And you know, it's like look at like they always say, the sum five of the people that you hang around the most, like where are they at? You're gonna be plus or minus as far as income, mindset, the whole nine.
Right.
And that's where my wife and I are right now. We're like, all right, like we're looking for that vibe, and you're looking for that tribe, because like right now it's like came out here in 2020, it's 2024, 2025 now actually. New Year's, crazy times flies, and it's just like people come and you meet people that go, and it's like not everyone are entrepreneurs or A-type people that are like driven. You know what I'm saying? And so finding those individuals, and also when you do find those individuals, like a quick side story, like Peace lives out here. Peace Morby, he's a huge real estate guy, and I didn't know. And I was like in some meetings, and some agents were like, "Oh, you got to meet this guy. He's hella like you, whatever." So I was just like, "What's up, dude?" Like reached out to him on Instagram, sent him a voice memo. He like saw it, and then like it was like nothing. And then like I later found out like he's super busy, and he has like $100 million real estate portfolio and all this crazy stuff, which is fine.
Mm-hmm.
But you're still a fucking human, bro. Like you know what I'm saying? You still live like in Arizona, and your daughters are same age as my daughter, like but whatever, so that's what comes up next. So it's nice when you meet people that you can come up together, you know what I'm saying? Because I feel like when you get a little bit older, and then you have that success, and especially when you move out of state, then finding that vibe, finding that tribe, it's not always
The easiest
not
thing.
always the easiest. No,
It's not, and it wasn't the easiest thing for me either.
No?
What made it easier is honestly like having the car, because like you get that initial connection from sharing the same interests, which is the cars.
Yeah.
Then you get to, really sit down and get to know the person outside of the cars, and then that's when you get to know like, okay, is this somebody I really want to be around, or is this somebody who is just like they're cool to hang around because they have the car?
Yeah.
Like, with them, it was always more, it was always deeper to that, and I feel like with the car community out in Arizona, mind you, I haven't been in the car community for so long, but like from the time that I have been in it, there's definitely some weird people out there.
There are.
It's like there's people you don't want to surround yourself with. It's not good for business. It looks bad.
It's not, and that's the thing too. Even with the GTR like crew, like I'm in a couple of different chat groups, and shout out, they're all amazing people in their own right. It just doesn't mean that you always want to like be with them every day.
Exactly.
It could just be like, hey, let's like, I had like 17 GTRs here. We had a GTR event. I had a couple of parties, and so it's like, hey, come over, barbecue, whatever. We're gonna have like Mexican food catered or some shit. Okay, cool. But outside of that, it's like I don't know
Right.
if I want to get too close, because just like it is interesting, and it's like, and the GTR is kind of like an intro level supercar, so you still get kind of like, that's why I was like looking at the Ferrari for the next car, and I'm like, I don't know, because there's some I heard rallies though. Car rallies is like where I heard is where it's at. Like you got to go out and do the car rallies.
I've done one
Have you?
to Mount Lemon in Tucson. You know where that's at?
Yeah.
Yeah, I went up there. It was cool. Mac went with me. He has the 2SS manual.
Oh, that's dope.
And I got to meet a couple people up there, but that was my first ever like actual car rally.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I heard that there's good connections. You can meet good people. A lot of times there's like charity involvement and whatnot. DDE obviously does a lot of them too. So I'm like, that could be super dope. So,
Gumball?
Yeah. Gumball, exactly.
That's also
Gumball
in goal.
3000.
Yeah, that's also in goal. It's like
Yeah.
super expensive, but
Is it really?
yeah.
What do you know? What's the interest fee? I didn't even like.
I think it's like 35,000 just for the ticket. Then you got to get your
Ah.
car shipped out there, and so it's probably even more than that. But
50,000 just to like do an event plus.
exactly.
Damn,
But
that's
I'm pretty
crazy.
sure all that goes to charity, like you said.
Yeah, which is dope. I mean, that's super cool. You know, you never know. You could always start your own.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And give back and hook up and whatever. So, how many Supras are there in the group? Just you two, or is there three?
Now there's three.
At
There's
three,
three.
right?
There's
'Cause
a red one. His name's Seth.
okay,
Yeah,
that
we
'cause-
recently just got cool with him too. But like
Really?
we kind of like we were like, and then we were like, yeah, he's a cool dude. He was like, yeah, he's cool.
That's the
So,
set.
yeah.
So walk us through, like, you know, because people don't really see what they don't see behind the scenes. Because like obviously, you know, it's like they just see the clips. Like day in the life, bro. Like, what does it look like day in the life with Malik?
My day to day varies, honestly. With
Yeah?
it, like it varies. One thing I haven't really been too consistent with is the gym. That I used to be
Okay.
really heavy on that, like a couple years ago. But as the business started to grow, there's like you got to sacrifice some stuff, and that was
Mhm.
one of the things I decided to sacrifice.
Okay,
But recently, I've been trying to get back in there at least 3-4 days a week.
that's what's up.
I wake up, cook breakfast every other morning. I'll go to the warehouse, you know, check on orders. Like I said, I got Allie doing the emails for me. So she puts together like a whole spreadsheet, and
Nice.
I'll just log in and just see what I got to take care of. Ship out orders if there's any orders that need to be shipped out for that week. I try to do it like every other day. Sometimes I'll even wait the whole week just so I'll have like a big amount of orders going out.
Yeah, I saw some of the truck
Oh, yeah.
content with like the van with the freaking 1,000 orders or whatever it was.
Yeah. So that's pretty much it, man. I mean, after the work's done is where the fun comes in, and
Mm.
fun for me is honestly like being inside or taking out the car or like
Mm.
hanging out with my boys or whatnot. But I really don't do too much. Like majority of my day is work,
Yeah.
and then the rest, like I said, I'll be inside. Watch a movie, watch some YouTube, something
Hell
like
yeah.
that. You know, cook some food. I enjoy cooking, and then I'll take out the car. We try to hang out every Thursday, and
Okay, that's cool.
Just bring the cars. I'll get some content or whatnot.
That's what's up. So you're saying like, would you say 8 hours a day as far as running the company, or you say
Yeah. When I say it varies, like some days will be like 4 hours of work, some days will be like 12 hours of work.
Wow.
Like it literally just depends. That's something I need to get more consistent on.
Mhm.
Like just having an actual day-to-day schedule and like
Mhm.
a block for work, block for personal time, for the gym,
yeah.
and then to go take the car out. You know what I mean? But like I'll just get in that mode sometimes where it'll be late at night, and next thing you know, it's like 3-4 in the morning. I'm still up working. So it just depends, man.
It's when you know you love what you do. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like there's just no, and the thing is, I think the schedule really comes in when you have a family.
Mhm.
Then you have no choice. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Because like when your kid needs to go to like school, you know, and then you got the wifey, and it's like it's a total different situation. And so like our daughter is 6, and I never really was like. I never thought I'd have like I never like manifest like I want a family like as much as my wife. She was just like, you want to be with me? Like these are the things I want. Like I'm getting married, I'm having my kid. Like she was very adamant. I was like, all right, cool. Like I usually go younger, but you're a little older than me, but fine. Like you know exactly what you want. There's no more games, and I was like over the games. Like
Right.
come on, women out there, stop playing the games. But it's cool. It's an age thing too. But yeah. I block off 3 hours first thing in the morning before I do anything with anyone. I'm up at like 4:35, and I don't even start until like 8 is when I like, or 7:30 is when I get back, and then I get the daughter ready and get her to school at 8:30. And then my day starts at like 8:39 as far as for liftoff. But yeah, 3 hours first thing in the morning, man. I have a whole fucking red light therapy, gym, cold plunge, like the whole thing,
See,
bro.
now I like that because a lot of people think like when you're self-employed, it's just the best thing ever. But it takes a lot of discipline to actually sit and do your work. Because when I first quit my job, like I kind of felt lost. Like it was like
I felt weird,
yeah,
bro.
I felt weird. It was like
I'm like, I should be at like a 9 to 5 right now or some
exactly.
shit.
And
Like,
I
what?
went through like a period for like a month where just like I wasn't doing anything. I was just like rotting away. Like it was just kind of hard to navigate. So like it takes a lot
Yeah.
of discipline to actually get your work done.
It does.
It does.
It does, man. And I don't think people out there understand, like, not just discipline, but like motivation.
Yeah.
Because, like, if you're not putting out the ads or coming up with new designs, ain't shit gonna be happening.
Nothing's gonna be happening.
Yeah. You know, on my side, like, it's a little bit different because I have the team, and the team takes care of like 80 to 85% of the work. I'm only at like 10 to 15%. And so for me, it's like, okay, I'm doing reviews, putting out fires, going to events. doing the demos, and then like I even want to like take myself out of that position in like the next 2 years, and like so I could just take a seat back. But then you're like, fuck, I gotta stay motivated for like I got the family, I got 17 on staff, you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
so and reoccurring, we're almost at 50,000 a month reoccurring no matter what.
Mhm.
So that comes in no matter what, and it's all digital product. So we're not actually nothing
Shipping
physically,
anything out or anything like that.
nothing like that. No fulfillment, no shipping, nothing. And so it comes up too, it comes up too, and then sometimes I think if anyone's out there, it's hard to get sidetracked because just there's so many things. And if you're an entrepreneur, like, oh, like I could try this, I could try this, I could try that, And if
Right.
you don't focus on that one thing, like it's so easy to,
And that's what I've noticed. Like meeting other entrepreneurs, they'll try to do so many different things at once. And it's like, you got to just sit and try to be the best at that one thing
yeah,
until it can grow and run
yes,
itself. Like, that's how you know you're a real entrepreneur. Like, when you can build a business up and you can exit out of it and it's running itself. Like,
yes,
you can't really do that when you're trying to, have an online store or have like a detailing business and do like all these different things at once. Like you got to be
mm-hmm,
able to just sit and master one thing. Like I'm super big on that.
yeah,
'Cause, like a lot of people will ask me like, do you ever think about doing this? Do you ever think about doing that? And I'm just like, I just want to focus on what I got going on right now, be the best at it,
yep.
and then get to that point where I can like branch off and
Mm-hmm.
diversify.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a fleeting thought. Yeah, it comes up, but like it comes and goes. And I'm glad that you're saying that right now because that puts I feel like in life things happen for us for a reason, and there is no such thing as coincidences. And so like we've been praying more or whatnot than the hat. You know what I'm saying? And then you talking about like with the views, like, you got to be focused, and like after these flips and some stuff going on personally, it's like, okay, like done, like let's just get focused and get to the company to the next milestone, which is 3 million this year, and last year we did 1 million. So it's like, okay, now let's get to that 3 mil, right? And then get to the point where we hire that salesperson and get to the point where it's like, okay, cool, things are running on autopilot like you said, and then
Yeah.
you're like, damn, all right, we
You
made
gotta
this
stay
shit, you know what I'm
focused.
saying? Like,
Yeah.
oh, we did it, we did it. But still, you obviously have more shit to do. Like, you can't just completely walk away unless you want to sell it. I mean, and give it to someone else to take over.
Right.
It's a different conversation.
I had one of those moments too where I kind of felt like, I could sit back, like I did it. It was
Yeah.
when it was like my first 30K month revenue
Okay.
within the business. And it was kind of unreal. But at the same time, I was just like, oh yeah, I just did, like, I'm good. Like I could just sit and chill. And then I slowly realized like, no, you cannot, you got to keep going.
Dude, 30,000 a month, honestly, is nothing.
Yeah.
It is nothing.
Especially
$100,000 a month is nothing.
once the expenses start to like rack up and you acquire more and more people, like employees, you got it slowly becomes nothing, like literally.
Nothing.
And like the average person will hear that and be like, "Oh, my life would be changed with $30,000." But like you got to realize when you're a business owner, you have these expenses.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta take that 30 and cover, this
Mm-hmm.
and that. Even if you take out loans, you gotta pay that off. So it just gets to a point where you constantly got to be working for more and more.
Yeah. 100%. And then the thing too is you start to buy more. When you start buying more, it's cool, but like then you got to ask yourself like, what are you committed to? You know what I'm saying? And that's where like right now it's like just the GTR and the TRX is more per month than the actual house. You know what I'm saying? And then you're like, oh shit, and the wife's like, oh, do we really need to be like stretching ourselves? Like, cause I had the taco and I just sold it. It was a 21 Tacoma. It was cool and I had it all done up and stuff like that. But it was just got a travel trailer and it's too small. Daughter's getting bigger and it's not enough room in there. And the power is like V6 from,
Exactly.
yeah, I get the GTR's V6 too, but like you're going from like 295 to like 800, and you're like, man, get on the freeway, guy look at you like, are you flooring it right now? I'm like, yeah, let me in, dude. Like, you gotta hit the brakes just to get over it and shit. Cause the guy in his Silverado is like, yeah. But yeah, man, it's and I also think too is just to hit on this point for our viewers and listeners as well. It's like, hey, like, just because you want more doesn't mean that it's gonna make you any more happier.
No.
Not at all.
And when I see people say like money brings happiness or whatnot, it's almost like you gotta go through the getting the money part and you'll realize like it's only temporary happiness.
Yes.
Right? Like it'll wear off after a while. Like I feel like true fulfillment comes from number one, believing in God and staying faithful.
Mm,
Second is just having great people around you, even if you have a family like you. Like I feel like stuff
amen.
like that brings the most fulfillment.
Yes.
Like for me, the money's great, it's cool and all, but generally it doesn't make me happy. Like
Mm-mm.
it's nice. Like I hit a new milestone. Oh, I hit a 50K month, whatever. Like it's cool, but it's almost like I got more fulfillment like hitting my
Mm-hmm.
first 10K month than I did now, like hitting
Wow.
the 50K month. Like December last year, I did it was like 67,000. That was my best month so far,
Let's go.
revenue wise. I was super happy at first, but then after I'm like thinking back, just like looking at it, I'm like, man, like I was more excited. I felt more fulfilled when I was starting up. Like when I had that first 10K month, 20K month. It's
Yep.
like over time, like it starts to diminish, and it's not real happiness. Like people, they'll say like, oh, if I have this car, I'll be truly happy, whatever. But ultimately, you won't.
No.
You won't.
No, and I think the thing is too is like for anyone who's viewing and listening, like they always say like it's not the destination, it's the journey, and like there's truth to that. And more importantly, it's about making sure you're happy day in and day out, just with self and your friends and your family and your loved ones and your health, and then it's icing on the cake, the $67,000 a month. It's not the thing that is going to be like wow,
Right.
like the cars are cool. And then for the first maybe 6 months, I was like, dude, fuck GTR. And then that goes away. And then now it's like other people enjoying it is what's really cool.
Exactly. Sharing that experience with other people. Like that's what I get joy out of. Like I let my friends drive my car. I let people drive my car. Like
Yeah, me too.
I'm not too like worried about if they do like whatever happens, happens. It's meant to
Yeah.
happen. But like I like seeing them being able to enjoy what I've accomplished and sharing it with them. Like that makes me happy.
It's a trophy.
Yeah.
The cars are a trophy.
That's
It's
literally
like,
all it is.
it's all it is, bro. It's a trophy you could drive.
And that's why, like, I was telling him, we talk about supercars and like having multiple cars and stuff like that. For me, like, owning a supercar would just be more of like a, like you said, like a trophy of look at what I was able to accomplish. Like,
Yeah,
this is a representation of my success rather than
exactly.
just like the car. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So
And
yeah,
then also using it as a tool to inspire others to ask you questions or be like, how did you do this?
right,
And then you can be like, this is how I did it. And then you just get someone that says, I want to do it too. And then
exactly.
they start doing it. And then that's legacy.
Yeah,
And I think that people think that like the financial industry, create legacy, leave this and that to your kids, blah, blah. Like, honestly, fuck you. You know what I'm saying? Like, how about you go fishing? How about you go like take a road trip or go camping with your kids? You know what I'm saying? Like it's the moments that like it's like where you move someone emotionally where they'll never forget that thing that you did that makes them feel like wow, like that was a moment. Like that was like and then when you are passed on, God forbid, it's all gonna happen, it's inevitable.
right,
How are they gonna remember you at the funeral? They're gonna be remembering those moments? Or the fact they have $1 million and they can't wait to spend it, which could fuck them up anyways.
right.
If you're not ready for 1 million,
Yeah, that could be a nightmare.
it could be a nightmare, bro. And people think that like, oh, cool. If I had all this, no, 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 If you ain't
It's
happy
not.
already, you get 1 million, you're gonna be way more unhappy.
I wish more like super successful people would touch on that. Like I feel like it's not really talked about enough, and
It's not.
people just are just kind of like, yeah, money brings happiness, but ultimately, I don't think that's the case.
No,
At least not for me personally.
and I feel like also, and if you relate to this out there, it's like we don't talk about because it's kind of cliche, especially when it comes to like men. All right, like we don't talk about our emotions and shit. Like we're not like, oh, today I'm really feeling sad. Can you just give me a hug? Like, get
Right.
out of here, bitch. No, but like I feel like emotions are so pertinent, bro. Because like we don't always have good days. There's good days, there's bad days, there's ups, there's downs, there's neutral days, whatever. And I feel like it's a good idea to then at least understand like what you're going through because I was like last past 2 weeks I've been in a funk. You know what I'm saying? And like if you go on social or whatever else, you might not know that or see that because like I want to keep staying positive. And on the back end, I hate using the word but to anyone out there. But mitigates what you just said. So I usually just don't say but after what you said, unless you really was a but thing that you said. And so like I just find myself at times where I'm just like, man, and my wife is like, you haven't been as motivated in the morning. Like you're just not as motivated as far as like driving the cars or the clothes or whatever. Like, 'cause I usually always match and shit with my clothes and like I didn't even want those dusty ass shoes when I was pulling up, but I was off roading. But and so she put it in perspective for me. I'm like, man, what is going on? But it was the properties, and it was extra money going out, and like I have a goal to pay off the rest of my credit card debts and shit. And then these properties are sitting, and then you get down on yourself, and then you just go down this fucking rabbit hole, just like, and you'll be like sitting in a big house with a fucking GTR and a TRX and a
Same.
new car you just bought for your wife and a beautiful wife and a 6-year-old daughter, and then you're like, not happy. You're like, what? What's going on?
Right.
And then you have to recalibrate sometimes.
And just push through it.
Yeah.
And that's a whole nother thing. Just pushing through it and continuing to believe like, okay, like things are gonna be all right. Like that's where
Yes.
that faith comes in.
Yes.
Literally, like I've had those down moments too, where I'm just like, yo, like this is gonna work out.
Yes.
And like you said, you'll have all these nice things, and you still find yourself unhappy. And it's just because you become accustomed to it. Like once you get the GTR, like once I got the Super, you get these nice cars, whatever. Like it just becomes normal to you.
Yes.
And like one thing Rob reminded me of is because I told him I was like, yeah, my life is pretty boring. Da, da, like I do the same thing over and over. But you got to real like you got to be like an outsider looking into your life, like especially if you're above average, if you have a business, if you're doing all these different things, like people are gonna they're gonna want to watch you. They're gonna be
Yes.
intrigued. They're gonna be inspired by you. So
Yes.
it's on you to put yourself out there, put the content out there to continue to motivate people.
Exactly, and you have to have contrast. That's why
Exactly.
having a group of people that gives you that contrast, like you said earlier in the show, going to the car shows or the car meets or the meetup groups or whatever is so important, because in that way you can get yourself out of like your bubble, your comfort zone, and like get somewhere else where you're like, okay, this is a new spot. I don't know anybody, but let's do this because I need this. And then you get to talk about yourself or talk about someone else and what they have going through, what they have going on. And then you're like, damn, like they're dealing with this, and this. And then you're like, man, what the fuck, dude? Like, I
Like
need to like chill out.
exactly, like compared to them, I don't got nothing going on. That's happened to me before too.
Right?
It's like before I got the car really brought me outside and like made me more social. Before I was inside all the time. I didn't go to any car events.
Damn.
I really didn't do anything. I was
Yeah.
just inside working on the business, which is fine, but like it gets to a point where it's like you gotta, meet new people.
Yes.
Like if I wouldn't have made an effort to go out to these different car events, I wouldn't have met some of the closest people in my life right now.
Amen, bro. Liftoff right there, bro. I freaking love that. That's what's up. No, it's so true, dude. Like, I think anyone who's viewing and listening too, like, it's so easy to compare ourselves to other people too. It's like, don't compare yourself to anyone else. And if anything, celebrate. Like, I feel like outside of just the faith, you got to celebrate other people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, taking a time and taking an opportunity to stop for a second. This is why I like this show, and to celebrate you. Celebrate your wins and what you're doing and how you're doing what you're doing. And like, then put it out there and then let individuals see the celebration and be like, damn, all right, cool. Like, congratulations to maybe us. And then now you go do it. You go do something for yourself. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? And be that light in the world and whatnot. Cause I feel like it's so interesting that the world's set up the way that the world is set up. But like, we've all played GTA 5, for example. You know what I'm saying? I used to
Yeah.
play that game all the time, and I'm like, dude, I live now the real life GTA 5. You know what I'm saying? Now
Yeah.
6 is about to come out. And it's just like people forget that, man. It's just like, and I feel you. Sometimes you get monotonous like every day. So I was out with Pops. I say, hey, middle of the week, we're just doing dinner or whatever, just to switch it up, because you get so caught up, and you're like, oh my God, it's been a month.
Exactly.
It's the same shit. You're like, all right, I got to do something different. Like, you got to change it up.
Yeah.
So, but no, I love that, man. I love that. And that's why I was like, all right, we got to get you on the show. We got to have this opportunity to go deeper with it and
I appreciate it, man.
and,
It's
and spit some game, bro. So as we continue, I mean, God, man, we're already like 111, bro. I don't know if you like angel numbers, but angel number 111, already in on this show. Like, when you think about the individuals that follow you, and you think about individuals out there you've met before, and maybe you spit some game and give them some ideas or give them some things to think about, which we've already talked a lot about stuff
Mhm.
for them to think about. Like, what is maybe something that you want to get out there that maybe you never talked about before or you never really shared, that you can really be able to just press upon someone to, I don't know, give them some motivation, give them something else to think about.
to for anybody out there who's genuinely wanting to start an online business or a business in general, I just recommend that you just don't follow trends. Like, for instance, if you see somebody doing a clothing brand or if you see somebody who's drop shipping, just don't do it because it's working for them. Like, you got to find something that's actually like it means something to you.
Yeah.
Like it has to be something you could become passionate about, because if you're not passionate about it, when times gets hard, you're not making any sales, or the business is in the negative, like you're not going to be able to push through.
Mm.
Like if you don't have that true passion or that true like burning desire inside of you, then you're just not going to make it. And that like going back to earlier when I was telling you there was no plan B, like this was it for me.
Yeah.
It's because I had that burning desire in me to want to make it work even when it wasn't working.
Mm.
So I get a lot of DMs and like questions, man. Like people just ask me like, "Yo, I want to start a business, da da this and that." I'm like, "Okay, what do you want to do?" And they're like, "Well, I haven't figured it out yet." Like, that's the first step. You gotta sit and think and figure out what you want to do and what you can become passionate about. That way it could actually become successful. Because a lot, like, there's
Love
another
that.
statistic. A lot of people will say like majority of businesses fail within the first year. That's
Mm-hmm.
only because majority of the people quit. Like, if you never quit, there's no such thing as failure. Like, even if it takes 5 years, if it takes
Yeah.
10 years, for me,
Mm-hmm.
thankfully, it happened to become like in 1 year or two. It was like 2 years in the making, honestly,
Yeah.
to get to where I'm at now. But it's just because like I had that desire and I knew I wasn't gonna
Mm-hmm.
quit.
That's
Uh,
fucking fire,
that,
bro.
that, that's really it for me, like motivational wise. Like, I tell people that all the time. I'll be
Yeah.
like, just you gotta find something you're passionate about, and you can't really be worried about failing, because if you fail and you decide to quit, then that's the only way it
Mm-hmm.
actually is a failure.
Yeah,
You
I
know.
love that. I love that. So let's go a little deeper because this is one thing that I love. I love the opportunity of leveraging technology like video,
Mm-hmm.
right? So when someone does, hypothetically, someone sends you that DM, right? And you're like, you know what? Like, I'm going to send you something, right? And here they are right now. They're watching this, okay? And they're like, man, like, I want to start my own business, but I don't quite know what I want to do. And you're like, all right, well, follow your passion, right? So, like, you're listening to this right now and you're like, well, what is my passion? What do I really want to do? What does that look like, right? And I like to use a term called life by design. And so life by design is if you can imagine a perfect life for yourself, and what would that look like? You know what I'm saying? Morning, evening to night, whatever, like throughout the day. What does it look like? And then imagine the possibility of you being able to live that dream every single day and make sure you feel like you're worthy to have that. You know what I'm saying? And that could be someone out there right now that just like get a piece of paper, iPhone, whatever, notes, and then just write that out. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna start out the morning with what? Okay, you're gonna be just do you go to the gym, meditate, pray, whatever. Okay, cool. And the next thing is what? Like, oh, I could, you know, you want to be an artist, you want to write a book, you want what? You know what I'm saying? And just follow that throughout. So that way, I feel like the person can really be like, all right, like this is my life by design. This is what I'm doing that makes me feel fulfilled. It makes me feel like I'm actually doing something not just for myself, but I think that the biggest thing is when you follow your passion and you help someone solve a problem, then you have a business.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know?
And I think for my business model, it's less of solving a problem, but more of people feeling connected or feeling
Mm,
like they're a part of something, right? Because there's many angles you could kind of play your business off of why people should buy from you.
yeah.
But for me, it's just like a small little community, like Felicity. You know what I
Mm,
mean? Like, this hat's from Felicity. Like, the other day we were out, I saw somebody wearing my
yeah.
hat. I saw somebody wearing my hat in public, man. It's just like at one point that hat was in my hand. I shipped it, and then now it's on his head.
Mm.
It's like, it's just more of like a community based thing for
I
me.
love that. Now let's go deeper on that. Have you
Okay.
thought about doing anything with like community?
And that's what I want to get into. As far as you saying like the whole reoccurring customers thing,
Yeah.
that's why I'm trying to build that up as much as possible this year, so I can, just do a pop up shop in LA, go to New York
Mm.
for a weekend, and just say, oh, to all my followers, I'm in New York, come pull up. Like, we're doing a little pop up shop,
That's what's
exclusive
up.
hats only for you, for New York. You know what I mean?
That's what's
So like
up.
that's really the one of the big goals I have in mind for
Mm.
Felicity, is have that big community behind it.
I wonder if you could also do like a Discord or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Or
Yeah.
get everyone together. We had a gentleman that has he started during COVID, and it all started. His name's Eric. He was on, I want to say, last week or 2 weeks ago episode. By the time this airs, and he during COVID started swinging kettlebells up front of his house, and it turned into this kettlebell company. And it's called Touch Grass. He has like a clothing merch line, and then he also then does like training, and he has 900 people on his Discord. So I can imagine you being able to even start a Discord and be able to bring people a part of that Discord. And who knows, maybe it's all different types of walks of life, but maybe there's some type of commonality of the trait that brings people together. God, merch, culture, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Where people could just vibe out and just be in the Discord and like one share the merch. You know what I'm saying? And cool locations that they're at with it. And then next could be, I don't know, could be something dope,
That's
dude.
a great idea. No, I
You know what
like
I'm
that.
saying?
Yeah.
We're
Little
little think
group,
tank right
yeah.
here, bro.
I might have to implement that.
You know what I'm saying? Could be
Yeah.
cool, dude. And that way you could just like literally throw a little card in there and be like, hey, join the Discord, and share where you're at with the hat, and then let's share it with the community, and then maybe you'll have someone locally to you that you can connect with that also vibes over the merch, and then you never know what it could turn into, you know?
Yeah.
Which would be dope. But yeah, the reoccurring model is dope. I just feel like it needs to be like organic. Like my wife and I, we wanted to start this, like I was gonna call it the celebration of the month. And then she was like Momentum Monthly. And we kind of like we started off with like a vision board, and then like at the end of the month, just to slow down for a second and just look at the month and just take a second to just reflect and then celebrate our wins and like what did we learn and like what's the goal for the next month. And so we got so much going on right now and we got to get more focused and slow things down. But I can imagine something super dope to be able to help more people. And you never know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Never know.
I like that.
Yeah. So that's where I get off at. So for everyone out there now, like that's what I do with Liftoff is I go into strategy sessions and I strategize like where's your brand, where's your logo, who's your avatar, what's your website? Like that's what I do.
Is he like a consultant?
I'm a consultant.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like that's just a little taste of that's what I do. I consult. And speaking of mentors too, I was 50-50. There's a guy, his name's Tanner. I think he's like worth, I don't know, 100 million or something like that. I think he's out here, but he's with a lot of different influencers, and he got hurt. I said, hey, like congratulations, keep leading by example. And then he was watching all my stories, and he has elite CEO, and so I also don't have a mentor just like you. And so I had one that basically took a company back in like '96 or some shit or whatever, '94, like Digital Insight. Took it public. It was some technology company or whatever, cash out for 4 million, help me my pitch and my delivery and all the things, but like we were just not in alignment. He wanted to do this corporate model and I was gonna be his little guinea pig. I'm like, no, I'm not just gonna be your guinea pig. Like I'm me and I gotta be me and I don't care about the money. And so I went in a different direction. And so since then I haven't really, he was about 2.5 years we mentored back and forth. But I'm right there with you, kind of a lone wolf.
Lone wolf.
Lone wolf,
Figuring
bro.
out day by day.
Day by day. And I mean, there's a lot to be said. Just anyone who's viewing out there, like you can hire a mentor and have a lot quicker, faster success.
You can.
You can.
And that's one thing I've realized too. I used to be really against it, but
Yeah.
and you know, over these past couple of months, I'm realizing like if I had a mentor in the beginning who could have taught me all the stuff I know now, it would have sped up my success by
Yep.
like 10 times. But
Yep.
you know, it depends on how you want to go about it. It's hard to find people you could trust out here, man.
Yeah.
Like even on the online space.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. And the biggest thing is money, man.
Yeah.
Money at the end of the day sucks because it brings either the best or the worst out of people.
Yeah.
And so, and like, I'm sure anyone who's listening to this right now, I mean, you might even get some DMs after the show or something like that. My people might be like, "Oh, hey, what's up, dude?" Like trying to be more buddy or whatever because they're hearing the numbers or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Then you got to understand the character, the reasoning why, whatever. Everyone wants to put their hand out, but it's just like, okay, well, it's transfer of energy. You know what I'm saying? You want something from me? Like, where's the symbiotic give and take here? You know what I'm saying? It's not always 50-50. It's just like a relationship. Sometimes it's 80-20 or whatever. And you find that kind of balance. But that's why I think anyone out there, like, you know, get your mind right. Because at the end of the day, it's about relationships like we talked about earlier. And a legacy is the way you show up for people and the way they remember you outside of you just wanting to get quick cash for
Exactly.
whatever
Yeah.
your needs are.
Focus on being a good person.
Amen.
Got to be a good person.
Yeah, 100%, man. 100%. I love that. But yeah, dude, this has been phenomenal, bro. Like, it's cool too for anyone out there. Like, we just met
Literally, this is our first time like formally meeting each other.
and having a conversation,
Yeah, like ran into you, just said what's up, but
Yeah.
that's it.
which is cool. Like, I don't think, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's no hold back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we're fucking recording right now, dude. Like, you know that? I just met Rob too. He's behind the scenes, he's vibing out with us and whatnot. But I love that, man. I love that. And just to like switch it up for just a second, you know, we can call us hot takes or, you know, any questions like, you know, if we flipped it and I said, okay, you know, you're the host, bro.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what,
I'm glad you asked because I have some
what,
questions for you.
what would you want to ask me? I'm just curious. Just curious.
How does being a husband and a father, like, how has that affected your life?
Oh my God, bro. Like, big time. And I'll just be honest with you, not until I hit my 30s. I was like early 20, coming to my 30s, and I'll just be honest, I was a whore, bro. Straight up. Like I was having fun. So I got that all in my system. And I'm still at a fault sometimes. I'm like, wife catches me, I'm like, sorry, I wasn't looking, I swear. But like I got in my 20s or out of my 20s, coming to my 30s, and then I was like, I want to settle down, met her on Instagram, and then after meeting her, she put me in the friend zone. And so, but there was something different. And like the only reason why I was always just kind of going from one girl to the next girl to the next girl was I was hella hyper focused on the business. And I'm like, I got a mission. So y'all stay on the sidelines. I got to get this done. And I didn't want to deal with any bullshit games and all this type of stuff. And so I got to a point where I met her and she's just like, here's the list. This is what I want. This. And she kept it super simple. And I was like, damn. And so after that, I was like, all right, cool. And then I told her about the business, what I wanted to do, and everything else. And it was cool because when I first met her, she started off with like, okay, she's making 100 grand. She's a teacher. We're living in Hayward. This is 20 minutes outside of San Francisco. I lived in California my whole life. So Bay Area, that's me. Yeah, area. But so that's my roots, right? And so going from that to then coming here, it flipped. She took a $50,000 salary cut teaching, and she wanted to go full time with her company. And so Liftoff was making more money, and now I'm getting into making over 100,000 a year. And so now I changed roles, and so it really gave me a different perspective getting into a relationship, because I was like, oh shit, like, okay, she already owns this house. So we ended up selling her house. We sold her house for like 565. We got this house, believe it or not, during COVID at like 441. They wanted 461. And it's a 3,300 square foot, 6-bedroom house, 3-car garage, three full bath, 10,000 foot lot. And so now it's like with the flips, and then she invested her money. Like I'm now helping her out more so. And we kind of keep stuff still separate. We joke around the fact that like we have like this LLC together. So like the LLC we're together, but personally we keep things separate. But you got to find someone that really believes in you and really trusts you, and someone that really is like down for you. And then you have a kid, and then it's like the first, I would say 3, 4, 5 years, it's a lot on the mom, because she's breastfeeding and doing all this stuff. The baby's coming out of the girl. Like, it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's different. And then like you don't really connect until you could talk and like have more connection like that. And now she's 6. I'm having a way deeper connection with her, which is cool. And then it's cool because then you have like fans that are with you all day, every day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's super cool to like, we root for mommy and her company, and then they root for daddy and my company. And then like I took them to the Philippines last 2 years, and want to give Jordan contrast as far as not everyone lives in a nice house with this type of situation. So you go to a third world country and they see different contrasts, and they're like, whoa, and like houses that are like almost falling down, and mommy, daddy is like, that house gonna fall down and they live in there? Like, yeah, like that's how they live. You know what I'm saying? And so it gives you a different contrast as well. But I will say, being a father and dealing, not, I don't want to say the word dealing is very negative. Having the opportunity to be a father and going through the process of like, you work all day, and then you got to have bandwidth for your wife. You got to have bandwidth for your daughter. You got to be there for them. And it's like being a full-time mentor, full time, because you're always mentoring and coaching and supporting and helping. And then kids are saying this shit to her, and you're like, wait, what'd they say? Devil hour at 3 a.m.? No, monsters don't come out at 3 a.m. Devil hour. No, 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 no. Like, you manifest whatever you want, girlfriend. Like, what are you talking about? Right. And then our daughter is like A-type personality, and she's hella stubborn, and she knows everything. So I'm like, fuck. I was an easy kid. My wife was an easy kid. And now we got like this kid who's just like, okay, here we go. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely a blessing, you know what I'm saying, to like serve them, support them, help them. And then like she's starting to understand the card thing now. And so she's kind of liking it a little bit. And so now she'll kind of like, oh, let's take the GTR. So I'm like, all right, cool, let's do it. You know what I'm saying? So she's starting to get it. And then she likes kind of cars too. And then she's kind of mechanically inclined like I am. And then she's a mix of both of us. So it's crazy to have a child. You're like, whoa, like you're a little bit of mommy, a little bit of daddy. And then you see things where she's like, oh, that's a cool car. And like mommy's like, I would have never even thought about that. And she's like looking at cars and shit. She's like, that's super sick or whatever. So it's cool, man. I would say that it changes you for the better. It gives you a completely different perspective on life. And it's fun, man. Every single day it's fun. And we wanted to have another one. Maybe we'll adopt, because my wife is older. And so you got a body clock. So you can't, have kids at a certain point, where you can, but then you got to think about yourself and your body. And we don't want to, jeopidize her body and like that. So we might foster care or whatever. And now that she has friends having sleepovers, it's like kind of cool. Like I took to her little friend, Niali, to Barron Jackson. So we got to see some cool cars with the 2 little girls and stuff like that. And some guy came to me, he's like, took the GTR, had the 2 girls in the back, and then my wife and I in the front. He's like, oh, dude, you're the best ever, man. Got the girls back there and the whole family in the GTR. I'm like, yeah. And that's why I got the GTR, because I wanted a 4 seats, family car.
Makes sense.
Quote unquote fan car.
Yeah.
More so than like a Lambo or something that was just 2-seater, which eventually. But yeah, man, I guess that's the kind of the lay of the land a little bit, and that if I answered your question.
It does.
Yeah.
I respect that, man, because I want to be a father. I want to be a husband.
Yeah.
I want a family.
That's what's up.
I know, like, when you have a business, it's business, business, business. So when that does come into play, it's hard to manage. And
It is.
It takes a lot. So I respect it.
And it's interesting too. We're at a point now where she's starting to meet friends, and it's like, you don't always connect with the parents.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And it's
Yeah.
not even like a judge type thing. We don't even care about judging the parents. It's just like they're not entrepreneurs, they're not on the same vibe, or, you know, smokers or this or that. And so it's good for contrast. So she sees it, and even for us, we see it, but it's a different vibe. Like, oh shit. Like, so we're still navigating public school. She's in a charter school, and then like some of the friends, and then we're meeting them, and like we treat everyone with kindness at the end of the day. It's just like, you know, how deep do we get into the relationships with
Exactly.
whoever, you know what I'm saying? But it's and it's never a dull moment, bro. Every single day it's something new. Every single day. You know, and then you'll be in here, I'll be in a meeting, and then they're like, those two, they get crazy. So they'll be fighting and shit. Like, what is going on right now? Why are they? So I'm the mediator. I'm like the guy who has to get between them. What's going on? What's happening? Honey, take a deep breath. And so, and my daughter loves getting underneath my wife's skin, dude. Loves it. And she just pushes her buttons and shit. I'm just like, and then I'm a little bit of a shithead sometimes too. So she gets a shithead from me, and then she's giving my wife shit. I was just like, see, she got it from you. So it's funny, bro. It's never, yeah, it's comical. But actually, I filmed on YouTube. Speaking of day in the life, I filmed the first three years of my life on YouTube.
Oh wow.
I edited, I filmed myself every Sunday. I would do a new video called Project Entrepreneur when I was living in California, and that was crazy. I got the birth, got the wedding, got everything on that shit. So
Yeah.
it was a lot of fun. It was cool.
That was me in the beginning of my journey. Like I
Yeah.
was documenting all my milestones.
Yeah.
Just like even on random days, like if it was a tough day, I was going through it. I would just talk to myself on camera, like as if like I knew I
Wow.
was going to be where I was at now.
Really?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I have a bunch of old clips. I even made like a little montage when I hit my first 100K in sales.
Okay.
And I was just like, yeah, like I'm gonna document the journey. I'm gonna figure this out. Like I just got my sample made, da da da. But like this is what I want to do. And yeah, I mean, I haven't really been doing it now, just because, like back to what you said about the whole sense of like you feel like you made it in a way.
Yeah.
So I've been feeling like it's not that much of of an important task for me to like sit in front of the camera and talk.
Yeah, yeah.
Kind of like document everything through my content now, like
Mm.
shipping out the orders and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But it's definitely something I think I should get back into.
I mean, you never know. You know, you got your boy over here, Rob. He has the camera. You could be doing some editing, and at the end of the day, I think the biggest thing is you know, life can happen to you, for you, or through you. And I think that when you are selfless and you let it happen through you, we're talking God's work here. Then you're going through the process of leveraging Him to help you film the content, not for you, but for the other people that are going to see it and be like, wow. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
that's when you're like, it ain't about the 100,000. It ain't about any of that.
It's
It's
not
just,
about like where I'm at or like where I want to be. It's for me helping other people. I like that perspective.
and you're doing it anyways.
Yeah.
You feel me? So if you're already doing it anyways, and you have someone here who wants to help you with that process, and then obviously there's you can monetize, right? There's sales that can come in from it. There's courses or classes or the Discord, right? So then that money could potentially be shared with Rob, and then now he has a piece of this empire of that you're building organically. It's just unraveling as we're on the show right
Yeah.
now.
I like this.
You feel me? And then after that happens, then he gets to be able to share on the profits. You're making more sales with what you're already doing. You're doing what you're already doing anyway, so you're not taking your core competency away. And then people are getting hella motivated, inspired, and like, damn, like I'm doing this too.
That's a banger idea. I'm not gonna lie. We have to touch on that.
We actually talk about this, or like we just try to compare like something as silly as like we'll post like the same TikTok and see, all right, who does better. And it's like it's that friendly, because at the end of the day, like as much as like we are car friends, we're also just friends.
Yes.
Before anything else.
Yeah, exactly. And you never know what you don't know until you know. And so it's like, whatever, like put it out there. And, you know, if you're leveraging his time, he has it. You know what I'm saying? Don't let that go to waste. Because at the end of the day, every single opportunity that we have to like just maximize opportunities, and it's like the layers. You know what I'm saying? Like you're just maximizing one layer. What about the second layer content? What about the third layer monetizing? What's the fourth layer? Or like brand deals? What's the fifth layer? Discord. You know what I'm saying? And then fifth layer, oh, now we have this community and shit. Like they just watch my shit, and then it's this big old thing that just happened from it. You know what I'm saying? Like you never know, bro. That's why, and that's why I like if anything, if everything in business could be like parallel. That's why, like they say, focus on the one thing, and then you have verticals off the parallel. And that's why I started doing the fix and flip and the Airbnb, and I'm already in real estate. just marketing, and if I'm doing consulting meetings, and I'm just relating to the customers on the same shit. Oh yeah, I got a couple flips. Oh yeah, I do Airbnb. Oh yeah, I own a home with my wife. Oh yeah, we sold a home in California, and it coaches the conversation. Like I just closed a deal last night. You know what I'm saying? Having dinner, and next thing you know, I'm like checking my phone, and I turn all my notifications off. I'm like, I don't want to be notified anymore. I want to be notified when I want to be notified. So when I take up my phone, I'll open up apps and see what's up. And then I was like, oh shit, $3,100. That was a nice dinner.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And the next thing you know, it's like Atif, he lives out here. He's an agent. I call him up, and then I told him about the story about the fix and flip. And then he was like, oh shit, like little story that you don't even know. I started selling homes. The first home I sold was a trailer. They started calling me the trailer king. You know what I'm saying? He's like, don't tell nobody that. Sorry, bro. I just told a bunch of people. You know what I'm saying? But like, that's just kind of how it unraveled. And so you never know how you'll have a conversation with someone that's relatable to this situation that you're in. And at the end of the day, too, Ashley, she's our neighbor. There's a house over here for sale, and you can see Ashley when you drive out. She's on the sign, and she's learning a lot right now. And I kind of feel like we're paying for it. She's learning a lot, but it's like on our dime almost, because like she went full time on her own venture out of like working for a real estate team for 10 years. And then I'm love to serve. So I'm like, hey, here's a couple flips. Like, let's do this. I want to do one a month, not two a month. And then the market shifted. And then there's some, I feel like for everyone out there, like you're worthy. You know what I'm saying? And like if you don't feel like you're worthy, that could really stifle a lot of shit.
It can hurt you a lot, and I like that you brought that back up because I really want to touch on that. When I first started seeing like big numbers within my business, I would
Yeah.
always ask, "Why me?
Mm.
Like, why me? Like, do I deserve this?" And that can hurt you a lot because it starts to hinder the confidence, right? Like, you just have to believe that you're exactly where you're supposed to be, and that everything that you've accomplished, whether you feel so or not, it's meant to be, right?
Mm.
So it's everything happens for a reason, and you have to make sure that you tell yourself like, yes, like I'm worthy of this. Like I do deserve this.
Amen.
And yeah, it hurt me a little bit going through that because I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, yeah.
When you say
I mean,
you
you
are
could.
worthy. If you don't have anybody telling you that, or if you're not like acknowledging that already yourself, like you'll start to go down like a deep path where you're just like,
100%.
yeah.
That's where you have to have those layers, bro. When you have those layers and you have other people around you, and then like people start coming into your ecosystem, like your group, like Rob and Seth and everyone else, like it gets to a different level that like once everyone can get a piece of the pie and everyone's sharing the wealth and everyone's sharing the opportunities and there's the contrast, it's just like okay. And then you have the community, and then it's like yesterday I met with one of my guys, and like he was just like we do Monday motivation, and at the end of Monday motivation we started doing a prayer. And that's because like we have like a lot of our team members are like they're part of this church, and like we have like all these video editors that came from this church that like during COVID kind of closed down or whatever. So it just kind of happened. Like I said, everything happens for a reason. It was weird. It's just not weird. It was just I guess it was meant to be that way. And so we started doing the prayer thing, and then yesterday I talked to him, and he's like, man, he's like, Norm, I really appreciate you doing the prayer thing because it's helping me get closer to God again. And I'm like, really? Because his dad's a pastor,
Mhm.
and his mom's also within the church. And he, sometimes I feel like if anyone's viewing that can relate to this, it's like sometimes when your parents are so in the church and the faith, and things are so structured and organized this one way, and you're kind of rebellious, you're like, don't tell me, you know what I'm saying? Like it's easy to like lose your faith because your ego, whatever, right? And so now and so we connected on a different level with the whole spiritual concepts and stuff like that, and ideologies, and I'm not traditional at all. I'm not Catholic. I'm not Christian. I'm none of that stuff. I'm very different. And that's for a whole other conversation. But yeah, we got a deeper connection, and it was like cool. It's that community. You know what I'm saying? I was like,
Exactly.
all right, I got you, Raineth. You know what I'm saying? And then he was editing our next video for this show, and it comes out a banger. I'm like, see. You know what I'm saying? When you go deeper and you have that connection and it's community, and then it's like it shows in the work. It shows in the outcome. You know what I'm saying? It shows in the inspiration because now you're not so motivated just for your own shit, but you're motivated to see what he goes with shit.
Mhm.
And then Rob's like, damn, let me show you what's up. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, damn, like you just did that? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I got you an extra 100,000 sales. I don't know. Like whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know.
I like that.
For what that's worth, you know what I'm saying? And for anyone out there too. Hope that helps.
Yeah, because before I was kind of stubborn in the fact of like, oh, I don't need a team, da da. Like I made it this far myself.
Yeah.
But as you go on, you realize how important it is to have good people around you.
Yeah, for
Like,
sure. It's
you
just
guys all build off of each other.
contrast, man. You
Yeah.
need the contrast too, because at the end of the day, it's like you want to be a Scrooge. You want to just be like bah humbug, and you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like shit don't matter unless you have someone else that says it matters.
Exactly.
Until you have someone else that's watching this show and admiring you or whatever, you know, and then you're like, oh damn, like I am doing pretty good. Like, you know, this person just said this, this, and this. But yeah, man, I love that. I love that. That's awesome, man. Now, and I appreciate you asking that question too, because you never know. You never know. And sometimes, yeah, I'm a host, whatever, but I like having a conversation. And I wish we had you mic'd up too, Rob. That way we could had you in the background. You know, they could hear you a little bit, especially when you speak up. I was like watching the mics, but yeah, it's cool. That's awesome. And we're gonna have to do something with the car soon to get a shoot together or something. You know what I'm
Cool.
saying? Like get a shoot together, have some fun.
It's our guy right here.
Let's go, man. Let's go. You just do like just car content, any type of content? Anything. Okay. We're gonna talk offline about the Liftoff. I got some cool skits. I'm gonna be cracking on some agents with some skits and get them really thinking about what the fuck they're doing. I love it, man. I love it, dude. That's awesome. So so I guess you're gonna keep on going with the hash. We'll see where it goes.
See where it goes.
See where it goes.
This year. I won't throw any numbers out goals wise this year, but just know I'm definitely reaching that 1 million mark.
Ooh.
How you said you want to do 1 million in it, or how you did 1 million in it?
Yeah.
That's what I'm pushing for.
Okay. When you get that first house?
I'm 20. I don't know. Like I don't mind. Like the apartment I live in is very nice. Like I don't mind living in an apartment. But as far as like house as for me to flip, I'll say within the next couple of years.
Okay.
But
I challenge you in a year, bro.
in a year.
Challenge you in a year, and I challenge you to maybe think about getting a house sooner than later, and maybe even doing the house hacking and get you some roommates. 'Cause imagine you living where you live, and it has nothing to do with your business needing to pay for any of it, and it's just basically maybe your homies or whatever helping you pay the rent, and then you all can vibe out, and then who knows, maybe it turns into a reality show or some shit.
Yeah, walking around.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, look, we have it on the podcast now, so we can come back to this in a year and we'll just see. We'll compare and contrast.
Boom. Hey, we're already manifesting, right? On video right now for everyone to see. And I'm excited, man. So you're gonna hit your mill. I'm gonna hit the 3 mil. And let's keep on serving and showing up for people, man. Let's keep it moving.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's go.